Hi everyone, I'm Gift and I work as a developer advocate at Cloudflare. In this video, we'll kick off the Cloudbits series with the first episode, How Does the Internet Work? The internet is everywhere today. We use it for things like sending emails, accessing social media platforms like Twitter, Facebook, and surfing the web, but a lot of us don't really know how it works. The goal of this video is to teach you how the internet works under the hood. But before we get started, let's first define what the internet is. The internet is a global network of interconnected computers that communicates with each other. With the internet today, we can communicate with anyone, anywhere in the world, as long as they also have access to the internet. Now, this is amazing because we no longer have to send messages through posts or letters as we used to do in the past before the internet was invented. I sound like I know what that felt like, but really I don't. I'm a new age internet user. The internet is connected all across the world with physical cables. Hard to believe, right? These cables can range from telephone wires to undersea fiber optic cables. The information you access on the internet passes through these cables at the speed of light to get to your device. We will start with the smallest bit of connection you can have when you try to connect two computer networks. This can be done through a telephone cable or Ethernet cable. But in many cases, we will possibly want to connect to more than two computers, and using Ethernet cables isn't the best solution. That's where routers come in. A router is a device that connects two or more computer networks together. Its primary purpose is to make sure that a message sent from one computer arrives at the right destination, and it does this by sending data packets to the destination computer. Let's break this down even further. Have you ever wondered how it happens that when you input a URL in your browser search bar and you get back information on the screen, how does that actually happen? Let's use YouTube as an example. Say I try to access youtube.com in my browser. What happens next? The first thing that happens when you do this is that your browser, in this case the client, will try to resolve the URL you entered by checking the DNS records for a corresponding IP address. But what does all of these words mean? I'll break it down. First, we have the client. A client is any device that connects to and uses the resources of a remote computer or a server. DNS, domain name system, is the phone book of the internet. You can think of it as a way of mapping a contact person's name to their phone number. In this case, you're mapping a domain name to an IP address. IP address, which stands for Internet Protocol, is the set of rules that makes it possible for devices to communicate over the internet. It is identified by a string of numbers that looks like this. ISP is a company that provides you with access to the internet. Now that you've gotten a grasp of what those big words mean, we'll go back to the actual explanation of how the internet works. So the DNS query returns an IP address after this request is completed. The browser then tries to open a connection using the IP address returned, and this process is called a TCP handshake. Next, the browser sets up encryption between YouTube's web server and your device so that cyber attackers don't have the ability to spoof the data packet sent back to you. This step is referred to as TLS handshake, or what you know as SSL. The browser then sends an HTTP request to YouTube server to get the content of the page. But what even is HTTP? Hypertext Transfer Protocol is the foundation of the web. It's a protocol used by web browsers and web servers to communicate with each other over the internet. Going back to the explanation of how the internet works, after the HTTP request is sent, information gets sent back through an HTTP response in form of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript code, broken into pieces of data packets that will be verified when received on the client before the page is loaded. The entire process from start to finish takes less than a second, depending on how fast your internet connection is. There you go. We just gone through how the internet works and explained some concepts that might have been unclear before. Now you know how the internet really works. In the next episode, we'll take a look at what a CDN is and how it works. I'll see you all in the next video.